Welcome back to Hey, What Are You Doing? I'm your host, Becca G. And today I have probably quite literally one of the most interesting people that I've ever met. Yes, don't even be shaking your head. No.
Crazy talk.
Her name is Cass, and we work together. We met almost 2 years ago now,
Yep.
and we
hmm
work very closely. We talk all the time. Hi, Cass. Thank you for joining me.
Hey, Becca. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
How's it going? How's your Valentine's Day?
It's good. I got flowers and Diet Coke, as I think you saw
Ooh.
earlier.
Yep.
Yes. Happy Valentine's. It was good. Did a little Galentine's celebration yesterday with a comedy show. So all good.
Ooh, what comedy show?
Yeah. So the community I live in, they host like events for the residents and stuff. And last night they had comedians come into our clubhouse. So it was kind of wild. I don't usually attend those because I had been traveling and stuff, but there were all our residents there. So I got to meet some new neighbors. Some of
Nice.
them were heckling. So that was fun. Got a little wild, but we got to talk with the comedians afterwards and, just chit chat with them. And it was a good time. And
Oh,
my
that's
neighbor, who's one of my friends, was with me. So we got to kind of hang out and do a little
nice.
Galentine's thing.
Did you do any matching shirts or anything for this one?
No, I mean, I kind of made myself look cute for Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
but, we didn't plan anything super.
Got it.
We should have. Now I know what you're referencing, the matching shirts. Yeah.
Yeah. Cass is also one of the most crafty people out there.
Guilty
And
as charged.
you did matching shirts, and what else you did matching shirts and like face masks and stuff?
Oh, yeah. For Wicked for Good. My
Yep.
friend and I went to the double feature. I took time off work to do this.
Yeah, left me hanging on a client call.
I did. I actually left back.
That's okay.
But
You're hanging the last 2 weeks. So I've now repaid you.
It's all good. But yeah, we went to the double feature and I can't just do something for fun. I have to go way overboard with things. And so we got pink and green sweatshirts and then I hand embroidered velvet yarn that said for good on both of them. And then had little care packages for us with like face masks and lip balm that were all pink and green and all the cutesy little things. And I made scrunchies. I crocheted scrunchies that were pink and green. It was a good time. Yeah.
I need you to move back to the Midwest so that you can do that. We can do that together.
I can't make any promises, but yeah, I think you would have enjoyed it. We were talking. I feel like, and that was the same friend that I went to for the first Wicked, the first part. It's really good to have your girlfriends that like can consistently go through those like monumental releases and stuff. I think you would have had a good time. It was so fun.
Aw. Cool. We can talk more about crafting and stuff too if we want later, but we can also dive into Cass and who Cass is. So if someone was like, who are you? What are you about, Cass?
My
Give us
elevator
that.
pitch.
Yeah, but not like a short 30-second elevator pitch, like a long one.
I always struggle to answer this question. I think a lot of people do, right? Because I feel like I have gone through so many different phases in my long life of 36 years. But I think back to like certain eras of my life and I'm like, I don't even remember that person or that situation or anything. So I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up in Iowa. I had a kind of a non-traditional trajectory and I went to college later than most people because I had opened a business when I was like, I don't know, 17 or 18, something like that, and had a technology business in Iowa when I was younger. And I was doing mostly creative stuff at that time because we had like a marketing side and web design side. But then I decided I wanted to go back to school and get a marketing degree. So I did that. And I like took full advantage of it because I was paying for, you know, all of it. So I wasn't, I was really taking my college classes seriously, and I did all the extracurriculars. I was president of AMA at my university for multiple years, and I studied abroad, and I just did everything you can possibly think of. And I was working full time while I was going to school full time. So it was crazy. I was working for the university doing kind of like what you would consider a graphic designer for the university. But then I got my marketing degree and I went into work in agency life for digital marketing. Worked at various digital marketing agencies, paid advertising. Before then, I was doing some kind of like organic or just all over full function marketing for contract, et cetera. But got really experienced in paid advertising, went through several roles. As most people in agency life know, you kind of tend to hop around quite a bit. That happened. I travel a lot, so did a lot of that during that time and got to go to some pretty cool places, which changed my life significantly, which I'm sure we'll get into.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I landed at the company Becca and I work for, did a lot of work for like higher education, nonprofit work, which comes into play with what we work on. And then a lot of technology, e-commerce. So all over the board, a lot of work, a lot of stuff. I feel like I've done everything. Like I'm a Jane of all trades and a master of none in that respect.
Okay, master of all, you crush it. And you still wear 45,000 hats at our company. You so many different platforms. I don't even know how you do it and keep it all straight.
Yeah, that's the difference between what Becca and I do, because you're focused on social, which I think there's so much breadth to that. And, you know, you are an expert in that. Whereas I have to kind of cover like multiple channels and multiple areas and think about other things, which I think works well for me given, you know, my experience and what we just talked about. Because I feel like I've done the SEO bit, I've done the web development bit, I've done the organic side, I've done the creative side, and I've done the paid advertising side on all channels. So I just know a little bit of a lot, and that's where I think it plays well into the current role I'm in.
We can dive quickly into work and then we're going to get into the fun stuff.
Cool.
What's your favorite piece of what you do right now? Because you're on like multiple different channels, multiple different platforms. So what would be your favorite? If you had to pick one, if they came to you tomorrow and they were like, we're going to let you just pick one thing that you want to focus on, what would you pick?
I know it's kind of a cop out, but I like the strategy part of it more than anything, the audit and strategy part. I think that's where I'm like the best at, where I'm kind of like in that consultancy role where I'm looking at where an account is, whether or not we have that client on or we're pitching to them, really diving deep and investigating what's going on and then recommending the next steps. And that's for all channels. So I think that's my favorite part. I also get to meet a lot of cool people doing that, and I get to learn so much about brands that you like would never get to otherwise. Like I'm an expert in so many areas because I had to dive so deep into the keyword research or something for a client. So I know way too much there, but I like learning about all that. I think that's my favorite part.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun. I wish you could do more of that, but not on top of everything else that you're doing.
That would be awesome. That would be very cool.
If anyone is listening, Cass wants to do more of that.
Yeah. Just put it out there.
So for those who like aren't in our sphere, or even really me, because I don't fully understand what it is like your job encompasses, can you give us like the elevator pitch for your job?
Like we've talked about, so media strategy is I'm in charge of sometimes one channel for an account. It could be social. I could be managing Meta ads, paid digital ads for Meta or Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok or Reddit. Or I could be managing SEM, which is Google ads or Microsoft ads. or I could be managing both. In some cases, I'm managing programmatic, which is like display banners you see on a website or through your streaming devices in the middle of your TV shows, that kind of thing. So yeah, a lot of times I'm managing multiple channels. And then sometimes when I work with people like Becca, I'm managing just one specific channel and I'm an expert there. So a lot of it's a lot of moving around and trying to know like the ins and outs of all channels, but then also how they work together. And that's the different component is when I manage a client where I'm doing SEM and paid social and programmatic or a mix of the three, I have to also develop the strategy around how those channels influence each other. So it's a lot of like decisions on where to allocate budget and where to really test out new areas, where to expand into new channels, etc.
Does the client like give you an all-encompassing budget and then tells you to just figure it out?
Most of the time, yes. Yeah, that's typically what happens. But we have some accounts where they know they want to spend like 70% in Google and then 30% on social or vice versa, depending on the goals. So it just depends on what they're trying to accomplish. And sometimes they really just leave it open to us to be like, what do we need to do? We don't know. You tell us what we should do.
Got it. Is programmatic usually like the least amount that they spend?
Yes, almost always. Yeah.
It's the one that, I mean, I really understand nothing about search either, but programmatic too. I'm like a deer in the headlights. And I've been on calls with you.
You're going to get to know it because you're getting trained on it. It's very similar to social, I think, other than there's not that engagement aspect of it. So it's just display, which technically social is display, but it's within a social network. So programmatic's basically just doing display ads in other areas that you wouldn't be able to reach through the Google network or social networks. It's basically what it is.
Got it. Yeah, I've missed the first 2 trainings, so
fun.
Perfect.
You're gonna have a lot to review. No, but you'll get it. It's straightforward. I feel like if you can navigate your way through all the nuances of meta ads, not throwing shade publicly, but all the nuances and policies and software or UI updates and meta, the constant changes, and you can manage anything.
Wow, thank you. And we can publicly throw shade at Meta because I would like to burn them down most of the time. So
careful what you wish for.
I'm not saying I would actually do that.
True. Yeah.
When I think it was Nashville, and we had a social team like just get to know everyone type of meeting. And for some reason, the icebreaker was go around and what would be your serial killer trait that you have? Because it was like on his plate, if he has 3 things, like broccoli, potatoes, and steak, like he'll eat the broccoli first and then the potatoes and then the steak to like in order of like his least favorite to favorite. Gotcha, and I said mine would be that my answer to every inconvenience that I ever have, big or small, is that I want to burn whatever it is down to the ground. Like every time. I'm like, I just want to burn it down.
But would you have a calling card though? That's what you got to think through. You got to have like your little souvenir you leave by every time you burn.
Yeah, it would be a business card to listen to this podcast. Or I would figure out how to like make the flames like purple or something every time I did it. What would yours be?
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty good at stalking, so I think there would have to be something related to that. But when any of my friends need information on a guy they're dating or something, I'm like, all right, gotcha. I'll be back in a few minutes. Just like the whole portfolio.
Okay, if I meet someone,
nonetheless, like in a well-documented design spreadsheet,
Okay, I think that's your piece. Like the stalking is like one piece, but like organizing it in a document and making it pretty and thought out, I feel like that is like the serial killer, like meticulous, like
which would not be great
Right.
because then there's so much evidence, right? Of like premeditation.
And then it's like show edit history and it's casted this, casted that.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I'd be the worst criminal ever, honestly.
Oh my God. Same. Same. I can't keep my fucking mouth shut. I have a whole podcast so that I can talk all the time. Like, you think I wouldn't be blabbing to everyone?
Yeah, I could see that.
Again, you've been on client calls with me. I think our clients know just as much about me as my best friends do.
You know what? I think that's okay though. I look forward to that part of our calls. I was just thinking the other day, I'm like, sometimes I wish we had more of the silly banter we have on our calls and with Joe also on our other accounts because I feel like it just makes us more human and I think the clients appreciate it. But
I hope so.
I like the silliness. I think it's fun.
We talk about Taylor Swift at the beginning of every call we are on.
Yeah. Yes.
And by we, I mean I do. I bring her up every time.
Yeah. And I've become known as like the Disney queen, the Disneyland queen. So that always comes up as well, too.
Yeah, you are. You're the like go-to for anything Disney that we need to.
I got into a call the other day. You weren't on this account, but they, including Joe, were throwing shade at Disneyland.
Joe.
And I got into it. And then I was like, what are we doing here?
Joe's like, abort.
Yes. Exactly.
Oh, why? Why would he do that?
I don't know. I think when the client was explaining, when people don't live in California or near Disneyland and you don't have an annual pass and you're coming to visit for a day or a weekend, it is expensive. It is so expensive. I don't know how people do it. As a kid, my parents could never afford to take me to Disney World or Disneyland. So I get it. And then it's just, trying to cram everything in 1 or 2 days and you have kids, when there's always those external factors going on. So I get it, but I don't know. I enjoy it. I love it. And I think that's probably only because I live here.
We can talk about that real quick if we want. We can talk about your love for Disney. Yeah. So you live in California. You get to go to Disneyland. You have a season pass, yes?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
An annual pass. Magic Key.
Magic Key. Ooh, of course they call it something magical. Why wouldn't
they do? Yeah, get it right.
Sorry. How often do you go? Like a year? What would you say?
I don't think last year was my first full year with the Magic Key, and I don't think I went as much as I really should have, but I think I've made it a goal to go several times a month, like 2 or 3 times a month, but I actually book out at least a day each week, usually on the weekend or maybe a weekday after work, because that's how you get the value for it to do it. And you kind of have to reserve it ahead of time to make sure it's not blacked out. So I try to go once a week. It doesn't happen though. I usually end up canceling it because I'm tired or whatever.
Yeah, you start work at freaking 7 a.m.
Sometimes earlier.
Y'all are on the West Coast.
Yeah, I think I got up one of these days this last week at 4 so I could start working around 5:30. It was my own fault because I needed to get something done ahead of time. But yeah, it sucks. I mean, I've had a lot of client calls where it's still dark here and it's really not fun. But
no, I can barely get my ass out of bed and up and working by 9 a.m. So all you West Coasters, I don't know how you do it.
That's the plus side though, is that you get off around 2:33, depending on the days, maybe 4, because everyone else is done for the day. So I get off a little bit earlier, which means I still have time to go to the beach because I'm close to the beach during daylight, or go to Disney and have a whole evening at Disney if I want to.
That's true. I guess like when I'm like, oh, I'm working late, it's 7 o'clock. If you were working late, it would really only be 5 o'clock your time.
Exactly.
You'd have a whole evening. But yeah. What's your favorite part? So Disneyland is different than Disney World. I've never been to Disneyland, and I just went to Disney World for the second time in my whole entire life in October of last year. So I don't really know the ins and outs of either one of them, but I do know that Disneyland only has 2 parks, right? Compared to
Mhm.
Disney World's 4 parks.
Yeah.
Have you been to
Yeah.
Disney?
Yeah. So Disneyland is actually just in general much smaller than Disney
Okay.
World. And it was made first. Like Disneyland was
Oh,
first, and then
okay, I didn't
Disney
know
World
that.
was made after. It's really cool. I'm sure Disney World has a similar thing, but there's a theater, I can't remember the name of the theater, when you first walk in on Main Street in Disneyland, where they show the history of Walt and how Disneyland came to be, and they have a whole animatronic thing. It's really good. I really love watching it sometimes, just get myself hyped up. And it's usually not that crowded because people don't know it's there. So you can just go in and watch a movie and chill, especially if you've been walking around all day. But
Okay.
it just has Disneyland and then Disney California Adventure, or DCA. So those are the 2 parks.
Okay.
And I end up going most of the time to Disneyland. And that's because most of the time when I'm going with my friend and her daughter, who is special needs, and she has a disability pass, but we go on, it's almost exclusively on all the rides that Kyra wants to go on, which is fun. We love going for Kyra. It's her favorite thing. So I spend a lot of time at Disneyland, but I do love certain parts of DCA a lot. So I just don't go
Like
as
what?
much.
There.
The food's better.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a lot more like adult kind of stuff at DCA. There's all the Avengers and the Marvel side of stuff, and the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff is at DCA, and the Pixar.
Would you say that's similar to Epcot at Disney World? Because that's where like you eat around the world. That's where I rode Guardians of the Galaxy. That was
It's
where
been so
Nemo's
long.
ride was.
Yeah, I went to Disney World in middle school as a school trip.
Okay.
I was like an honor student, so I got to go on a trip with a few
Ooh.
students. But so it's been so long since I've been to Epcot. I do not remember much about it. But yeah, I would say it's probably more along the lines. There's a lot more options for food, and there's also, alcoholic beverages and stuff there, which I don't usually partake in for health reasons, but there is that stuff, that part of it there.
Have you ridden the Guardians of the Galaxy ride?
So I did for the first time a couple of months ago, and it was Hollywood Tower of Terror, right? That's what it was previously.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't think I had a fear of heights. I still don't think I have a fear of heights, but I lost my mind.
Really?
I couldn't handle it. I went with Kyra, and I was almost more concerned about her during the ride, which just making sure she was okay. She was also not excited about the ride. So she would, bawling her eyes out before we even got there. But we were being brave and facing our fears. So we got on the ride. And I was really worried about her. So I didn't experience it fully. But from what I did experience, I was like, I don't like this. I don't like the feeling of falling down in an elevator. It's not cool. I think I can't breathe. And I was shaking. I was shaking after for a while. And
oh no.
I got out of there and I was to my friend, I'm like, we need a Diet Coke. I need to calm down. I can't deal with this.
I need a hit of my Diet Coke immediately.
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure I was like green or white and green when I came out, and I was like, she knew I was just absolutely traumatized.
Oh man. Okay, then that's a different ride than what the Guardians ride is at Disney World.
Okay.
Disney World is a roller coaster.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so you're not like going up on the elevator and dropping. It's like you're in these seats and you're going through the galaxy. It's very cool because like it's pitch black and there's just like at one point like stars around you, and then you're like flying around the moon, and like and at one point like your chairs all break away from each other, so it's like you're floating, and then they're playing like in each chair is different music from the movie, so then you never know, like you're gonna get different music every time you ride it. Nice. It was very cool. I was very sick at Universal and Disney World when I went in October because my stomach does not handle rides at all. I was very nervous, but my friends that I went with were like, no, if you do one ride, you absolutely have to do Guardians. They were like, we don't care how sick it's going to make you. You are getting on this ride. And surprisingly, it didn't make me sick at all and I don't know why, because every other roller coaster made me sick. But it sounds like it's totally different from what yours was.
Absolutely. Yeah. At DCA, I could be wrong, but I feel like Incredicoaster is the most real to an actual roller coaster at DCA. It might be like the only one. There are a few of them, but that one's at least most similar to other amusement parks I've been to in terms of real roller coaster. And it's nothing. It's not scary at all. Like, it's literally nothing. So I would love to go to Disney World and experience that again now that I'm an adult.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Well, I'll be there the first week of December. I already put my PTO request in. So if you want to join me and my family, come on down.
We're just crash your family party.
I've invited another friend who lives in Florida already to come. My family, the more the merrier, honestly. My sister was like, I don't care who comes. I don't care what you guys do. Here's what we are doing. If you want to join us, great. If you don't, I don't care. And
that's amazing.
Yeah. So we're going to go. And then I'm going to hit up, I think, Universal again one day to go back to Harry Potter World because I was obsessed. So
yeah, I actually haven't been to the Universal Hollywood here either.
Oh, really?
Because I mean, I end up going to Disneyland all the time.
Yeah.
But I really want to go because I haven't been to Harry Potter World, but I did go to Universal in London when I studied in London, and that was an awesome experience. That was really cool. So
I'm going to London in July. Do I need to do that?
You have to. It's outside of London. It's a little bit of a trip, but they have like buses and stuff that take you directly there. You have to.
I don't know if my friends that I'm going with would want to, but going to Harry Potter World in London, hello?
You have to. And I mean, I don't have anything to compare it to in terms of Universal here, obviously, but I feel like I could be wrong. There's more of the kind of filming stuff behind the scenes at the one in London because I got to see like the real Dobby, the animatronic. Yeah, and Hagrid and everything.
Oh, I'm going to be there over America's 250th birthday.
What are you going for?
Harry Styles.
Oh, yes. I forgot about this. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. I might have to extend it just a smidge. Okay. So we love Disneyland.
Yes. And we love Harry Potter. I was going to tell you, when you go to London, you should also extend it to go to Dobby's resting place.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes, it's not in London. It's somewhere I think it's in another area, maybe a little bit of a jog. But you can actually go to this, his little gravesite where they had the house, by the sea. And you have to bring a rock though, a painted rock. You have to give a gift to the Dobby to put at the gravesite.
Okay.
There's like a whole monument, like not a monument, but there's a whole like memorial for him.
I'm texting the group that I'm going with right now. They just said we must go.
You have to go. You have to go.
We have to bring a painted rock for his memorial.
Yeah. Look it up. There are YouTube videos of it. I consume way too much YouTube content, so I know way too much about this, but there's a creator called Cherry Wallace. Oh, I think you know who Cherry Wallace is because we've talked about her with the advent calendars. She opens all the advent.
Yep.
She's like really into the whole witchy, magical vibes, wizardry and all that stuff. Right. And she has like a vlog where she went to Dobby's gravesite and they show everything there. So yeah.
We have to go. I have to go. Yeah. Sorry, Alex, if you're listening, I'm going to be out of office for 14 days.
You have to. Mandatory. I mean, if you're going to be in England, like there's no reason not to. There's also Stonehenge. I could give you so many recommendations.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about that. So that's where you studied abroad, was London?
Yeah. And I also studied in Ireland.
Which one did you like more?
Ireland. I'm probably going to get people hating on this, but I did not really enjoy my time in London that much.
Why not?
It was a very short study abroad situation, but I was really yearning and looking for a major cultural experience.
Got it.
And because I was really into like global studies and everything in college. And I felt like it was so close to what we see here in a lot of ways. And there's so much touristy stuff, like in terms of consumerism. There's like shops everywhere in London and with all these kitschy things, and it's all the same crap in every store. And I felt like there was so much of that. And I was also with a group of girls who liked to party. And as I mentioned earlier, I was non-traditional, so I was serious. I was taking my studies really seriously. And I wasn't really into the party scene as much at that time. So I didn't really want to go out there. I was also there during the Paris attacks. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
And while I was there, one of my cats passed away.
Oh, no.
Back home. And so on our way back, I had trouble. I almost didn't find my way back because they were so strict at the airlines for security reasons because of the Paris attacks. So it was kind of nerve-wracking. And I was there over New Year's, so that was around the time when this happened. That being said, it was a good experience, but Ireland, I think, is so much more rich, at least where I was. And I spent more time in Ireland, significantly more time in Ireland. So I got to experience more of that. And it's part of my ancestry. So I was like really big into that too. And yeah, I enjoyed Ireland so much more.
Yeah. So while you were over there, is this when you met? We can like dive in a little bit to Cass as a fiance. Her fiance does not live in the United States. Is this how you met him, or was this a different trip? Like you've traveled the world at this point. Yes.
I would say I've traveled quite a bit more than the average, but not nearly as much as I want to. Well, but yeah, so England, Ireland 3 times, and then Vietnam and Thailand and India. So my fiance lives in India, and that's where I met him. So that was actually much later after I graduated.
Got it.
That I met him. So it's an interesting story. I feel like I need to write a book about it.
I think you need to write a book about your life just in general. I mean, so just real quick, when Cass and I got hired at the company that we got hired on, within 24 hours of each other, essentially, I think, is when we started at the same time. And you used to have to, I don't know anymore if you do, but you used to have to do this like quick, like 5-minute presentation about yourself and like your journey, like from where you started to how you got to the company that we're at. And we actually ended up having to do ours. We are all remote, but we ended up having to do ours in person, which was like so nerve-wracking. I love to talk, but I don't like public speaking. And so and I'm not a graphic designer. I don't do any of that. Give me a Canva template and I can fuck it all up and make it look not pretty the way it originally started. And so I give my presentation. I'm like, whatever, that was stupid. The point of the thing is not stupid. I don't have I'm from the middle of nowhere, Illinois. I've never lived anywhere else. Like I'm not interesting. Then Cass comes along. Cass's is so pretty. It like moves as she's speaking to bring up different like points of like her life and like things she's done, places she's traveled. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the most interesting person I've ever met. So anyway, you need to write a book just in general.
That's very sweet of you. I had fun with that. I actually used a lot of the digital patterns that I made in that
Of course.
deck. I don't think I told people about that,
No.
but yeah, like a lot of the design of that presentation was handmade.
Oh God, of course it was.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the whole story of meeting my fiance is so weird and it's really hard to explain to people. Even my current situation is hard to explain to people. And I have trouble talking about it to the point where Becca's, wait, I don't understand this. Can you? It's really hard for people to comprehend. But I was going through a really bad breakup in 2019, the end of 2019. And it really shifted me at my core. It was probably the worst breakup I'd ever dealt with.
Aw.
And I wasn't feeling good about myself. I was living in Iowa at the time. My ex was in Iowa as well.
Do we need
And
to go
I went
burn
out
him down? Do you need me to burn him down?
Oh, I've moved past that.
Okay,
There
perfect.
was a time where maybe I would have requested that, but I've moved past it.
Okay,
I've
great.
grown since. Karma does reach people. Let's
Got
just
it.
say that.
Need to be involved then.
But my friend, at the time, my friend, she lived in California and Arizona. They went back and forth, her and her husband. And she had asked me, she was my best friend, ever since we were babies. So she was like, you should just come out to California because I was not doing okay
No.
in Iowa. And she's like, you need to come out to California. So I did. And I came out to visit her and I kind of just stayed with her. I was comfortable around them at my worst, which was great. And I watched Eat, Pray, Love.
I was
Have you
just
seen
gonna
it?
say, did you just go eat, pray, love your way to finding your fiance?
Yeah. So I basically did that. I watched that for the first time and something shifted and I was like, whatever, I need to do something about this. So one thing I didn't mention is my ex was Indian, but he was living in the US. So I had assigned all these ideas about, Indian culture to that relationship and how he treated me. And I was, I loved Indian culture and I loved learning about India and I loved all these things. But then the breakup happened and I was like, I don't want to think about India ever again. So then I watched Eat, Pray, Love, not knowing what happened in that movie. I was like, I need to shift my mindset here about India because it's not all about my ex. It's about what I love about the culture. And literally that night, I went on and found a way to, it's called IVHQ, International Volunteer Headquarters. And you basically search a place or a topic or both, and you decide where you want to go to volunteer and what you want to do. And I decided I want to do it in India and I wanted to volunteer. So I applied for that volunteer opportunity that night. And within a couple of days, booked a trip.
Oh my God.
And I went to India for a few weeks by myself. And it was the first time I'd ever been to India. No, because I have this really stupid confidence about this stuff.
Had you solo traveled before?
Yes.
Okay.
To Ireland.
Oh,
and London. And yeah, I hadn't gone to Mexico or Canada at that time. But yeah, Asia is totally different.
No, yes. Correct.
So I didn't really, I was, like I said, too naive to not realize that maybe I should have planned out a little bit more, but it was fine. I'm here,
Yeah.
Everything's good. I have horror stories to talk about there, which is
God.
that first trip to India. But no, I went to volunteer and I was teaching kids at what they called a slum school. I think that sounds a little crass when we talk about it in English, but that's a common term to call it a slum school. So it's where all of the lower class families live in a specific village usually. And they all work at, the manufacturers or wherever. And the kids are basically living in squalor most of the time. But this school was funded by a nonprofit that would bring in English and English teachers to teach them math and English. So that's what I did. And I had one up on all of the rest of the volunteers that I was with because I knew a little bit of Hindi. So I was able to talk to the kids and they just ate that shit up.
Oh,
like they really did. And if you're on my Instagram account, you will see some of the videos and pictures from that first visit, but that changed my life. Absolutely changed my life because I just knew I'm like, I should have been volunteering like this way like long ago. I should have been doing this. And also there's so much about this country that I really like. And it was just so fulfilling to do that. And I think I cried every day coming back from that school because I was just so emotional. I'm a very emotional person, but I had a really hard time. You know, I loved it. And when we left, the kids were like, I have a video of them saying bye through the doors. And it's seared into my brain. I have some pictures that they colored for me and I kept them. So I have these mementos and everything. But anyway, so back to the main story. My fiance actually knows the IBHQ and the nonprofit that I was volunteering with. And that's how I met him. I met him while I was volunteering in India at the end of 2019. I'm pretty sure at the time I had like COVID.
Oh no.
Because I was so
zero?
sick. Yeah, I joke around and I say that I was patient zero because I had to go through China to get to India. So there's a possibility.
Okay.
But it was literally December 2019. And I was so sick for weeks. And I got every other girl in my flat at the volunteer situation sick as well.
Oh, no.
I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, obviously.
And I ended up going to a hospital in the Chinese airport because I was so sick. I didn't even know they had hospitals in the airport.
Say, what? That news to me.
It was like an urgent care. I didn't know. And they didn't speak any English either. So that was also interesting. But
what'd they tell you it was?
They didn't know. So they just gave me like cold medicine. And then on my way back when I got home, I wrote it out. I was sick for a while. And, you know, I quarantined at I was still staying with my friend at the time. I quarantined in her little casita, which if you don't know what that is, it's like a little guest house in their house. I quarantined myself in there. But
you're quarantined?
Yeah, and then
cool.
I guess. And then we came back to California. And then where I live in California in Orange County, there's a mall. And we had just visited that. And I wasn't over my sickness, but, you know, it'd been weeks, if not a month or a couple months. And I was tired of being in. And we didn't know anything about COVID at the time. And I went out to the mall. And then the next day, breaking news, the first case of COVID in California came from this mall that I went to. And I was like, oh. Okay. I mean, I'm joking. Like, I don't have any evidence to say, but there are a lot of, you know, coincidences there.
Oh my God, that is crazy.
Yeah. But that all went down. And I kept in touch with my now fiance when I came back to the US. And we were just kind of friends and communicating. But then we just kept talking. And I realized I really didn't want to stop talking to him. And we never really spent any time together as a couple or anything in India. And so we were planning to meet up actually the beginning. It might have been February or March the next year. I had already booked tickets to come see him. And then lockdown happened. Yeah. I didn't see him in person for 2 years. Oh, yeah. Like circumstances happened. You know, we kept a long distance relationship, which is very challenging.
Yeah. How do you do that? Because I tried talking to a guy who lives in Florida and that was difficult. How do you talk to someone who...
First of all, Florida.
I know that. Okay. I'm well aware.
I'm just kidding. But no,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But in a whole different... That was just an hour time difference.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that? How do you do it? Do you have any tips for anyone navigating?
Yeah, so it's like a 12-hour time difference. So that's a factor. It's not only is it long distance, it's cross-cultural on top of that. So there's a lot of things that I've learned that, you know, I was aware would be issues because of my past relationship. But I just went in anyway, full force, because I like a challenge, apparently. But yeah, we just would communicate. We still communicate at night and then in the morning sometimes for a little bit. But it's really difficult. And I think a lot of people ask me when they hear about my relationship and the situation, they are like, how do you trust someone that far away? I think that's the biggest thing. And I don't know what it is, but I just did. Which is hard for me given, you know, past experiences. A lot of women, when they're, you know, betrayed or whatever in their relationship, it's really hard to even trust someone when you're living with them.
Right.
In some cases, but I had to do that with someone 8,000 miles away. And I just did.
I mean, when it's meant to be, it's meant to be, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously you two are meant to be, clearly. So
yeah, we made it work somehow and things aligned that way.
So he knows English and Hindi?
Yeah, there are so many languages in India, but Hindi is one of the major ones. And it's what most people, you know, outside of India associate with India for the language. But I do know Hindi. I'm not like fluent, but I can hold a conversation and I can understand Hindi. And I took tutoring lessons for a while. And yeah, but he does speak English. When we first met, his English was very broken. He will admit this. And I was patient because, I don't know, I was just used to being around international friends and stuff who had broken English and stuff. So I was really patient. And when I think I have videos of him probably speaking back into 2019 compared to now, the difference is night and day. Just he's never had any formal, I mean, most Indians study English in school, but he doesn't.
Most countries get to learn new languages.
Yeah, but he doesn't practice it with anyone because, you know, his circle is all speaking Hindi or Punjabi or something. And so if you compare how his English was back then versus now, it's just night and day. And it's just from practice. So I don't have any trouble understanding him at all. I never really did, but I think like my immediate family or friends who are not used to being around people with Indian accents or broken English, they might have a little bit of trouble understanding some things. So
does he have trouble understanding you?
Yes, because I think I've loosened up, and instead of speaking slower, I've had people tell me like, you do speak slower around him, because I'm trying to make sure he understands everything I'm saying and I'm not just going over his head. But now I've kind of loosened up and I'd speak normally around him, just like we do. And I have to repeat myself a few times. It's so fast. And he does the same thing with Hindi. And so, but he's also from Delhi, which is, you know, the capital. Everyone thinks of Delhi when they think of India, but he has a very Delhi accent. And which includes him having a very fast speed when speaking.
Got it.
I had such a hard time understanding his Hindi at first. And even I had a tutor, like I'd mentioned, for Hindi for a while. I was in one of the trips where I went to go visit my fiance in India. I was able to meet up with my tutor because she lived there as well. And that was an awesome experience. But she also got to meet him. And she was like, you were right. He's being told.
So we need him to slow down too.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. But I mean, you guys make it work, which is honestly inspiring, because people over here who speak the same language can't make it work.
That's true. That's very true. But like I said, I like a challenge, you know, keep things interesting.
Yeah. When was the first time you went? Did you go over there first to see him after you guys first met, or did he come here?
Yeah. So I actually went and visited him 3 times, which is like the bulk of where the content that I have online is based off of those trips. And we went around everywhere in India. I have so many more places I want to explore in India, but the first times that I spent time with him were me visiting him. And then in this 2025 was the first time that he was able to come to the US.
Oh,
yeah. So, which was, I mean, if you know anything about US visas, tourist visas, or visas in general, it's really difficult. So it was a very lengthy process for him to even get a tourist visa.
he needed a tourist visa because, so I don't understand how most of this works. I understand like the process of getting your green card and like trying to become a citizen here and everything like that, and how long that is and how expensive and just not fun it is. But when you say tourist visa, is it because he like stayed, if you're coming over to the United States to visit, do you like have to get one to stay longer than a week or something? Like, is that why you have to get one?
You have to get one for any amount of time to come visit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because we don't need one. Like, I don't need one to go to, or do I need something to go to London? Besides,
I can't remember. I mean, the U.S. citizens are very privileged. If you have a U.S. passport, you are very privileged, at least right now, because you don't need, yeah, things are changing.
Yeah.
But you don't need a visa in a lot of countries if you have a U.S. passport. I'm pretty sure you might have to do something for London.
I need to look into that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do. But I would say for most people coming to visit the US, you have to have a visa.
Really? Like,
of some sort. Yeah.
even if you're coming, I don't know, from London for a week, you have to apply for a visa and you can't change your passport?
Mm-mm.
That is wild to me. We are,
like I said,
what the fuck?
we are very privileged. Yeah. I can get, so in comparison, it took him 2.5 years after he applied for his tourist visa to actually get his first interview. And you have to go through an interview process, and then you have to get either approved or you have to have a bunch of documentation, and you get approved or denied. And then you have to wait a while to actually get the visa in hand. And you have limitations for how long you can stay and everything. But in comparison, if I went to India and I got what they call an e-visa or electronic visa, the rules have changed since I got my visa. I have a 10-year visa, or sorry, a 5-year visa for India. But the rules have changed. And at least when I did it, you pay $20. You do an application online for $20. And then they approve it within 48 hours and you print it out and bring it with you. That's how different it is.
I mean, we don't need to get into it, but that is, that's actually crazy to me that you have to interview to come over here to visit. So all of the people that when I went to Disney World, there were people from all over the world at Disney World. They all had to like interview to come over here just to go to Disney World.
It is likely a different process for each country. In India, they were backed up for their interviews since COVID. So they were backed up for a very long time. I don't think it's the same for every country. You still have to get a visa, but you might not have to do the same process necessarily.
I'm mind blown. You just blew my mind and just made me at everything.
I mean, it's a good point for a lot of people to understand. And it was pertinent to my relationship with him because a lot of people were saying, at first, you've gone to visit him 3 times. When is he coming here? Why doesn't he come to see you? Like people being on my side, trying to come through me, help me out, support me. And I'm like, he can't. I mean,
what? You're trying.
So it's not that simple. And I think a lot of Americans, unfortunately, don't realize that because we're so privileged.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay. That's annoying for him and you that he can't just come visit. What the hell? Just let him come visit.
Yeah. And I think he actually was pretty lucky. So the application, the visa, there's a fee for Indians. And I want to say it was in the hundreds, like a couple hundred, if maybe not a little more for the visa. And when he told me he stood in line in queue for his interview, I think about 60% of the people that went up got denied for their tourist visa. Yes.
For what reason? Why would they deny them?
It varies, but they will look to see if, they want to make sure that you are not trying to come in here and stay illegally. And so, yes, I roll.
So, yeah, for those not watching, I rolled so hard.
Yes, she did. So they check to see how much money you have in your bank account. They check to see if you have employment. They check to see if you have land or property or assets in India for reasons to come back to India, because they want to verify that you're not trying to come to the US and stay. Yes.
If someone said, I'm going to look in your bank account to see if you can go visit another country, again, who do we think we are?
And that's even for people who are family. A lot of Indian immigrants to the US have parents and family back in India. And a lot of times their parents or sisters or whoever want to come visit in the US, and they can't because they'll just get denied, or there's a 2.5 year, 3 year wait. Yeah. And then they might wait all that time and get up there and it's denied. So it's really tough.
So how long does he have one now that's similar to yours that's good for a certain amount of time? Or does he? Okay. So he doesn't have to do that process every time.
Yeah, he was able to get a 10-year visa. Not everyone can get a 10-year visa, but he was able to get one. And so he can come back, but he can only stay a certain amount of time in the US.
Mm-hmm.
I also have the same policy as well for India. I think I can stay up to so many months in India on my current visa if I wanted to. But he has a limitation for how long he can be here.
Got it.
So,
I mean, that makes sense in general for all of us, obviously.
Yeah. Yes.
That part makes sense to me. The other parts don't. But I have empathy and a heart.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Okay. Sorry, that was just a little rant that I went on. I'm just mind blown. And I did text some of the girls that I'm going with, and we do have to fill something out, but it costs a whole $3.
Yeah. It's nothing. Yeah.
Oh my God. And we have to do it a month before. And then it just electronically attaches to our passport.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, we are so privileged. We don't even the bubble that I live in, and I'm acknowledging my privilege in that I live in a bubble because I obviously knew nothing about that.
Yeah.
Because when I went to Amsterdam, that law passed right after I got back. So I didn't have to do anything to go over there besides
I see.
Passport.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay. So anyway, you're long distance, very long distance. How do you keep it how do you keep the spark alive?
I think, and a lot of other people who have done long distance relationships will attest to this. I was in some of the community support groups for long LDRs, but there's a lot of anticipation because a lot of times you don't know when you're going to see your partner next.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that component to it too. I mean, as they say, distance makes the heart grow fonder, which I think there is part of that coming into play, but it is tough. I'm not going to say we're perfect at it because we've definitely had challenges, but just doing things like watching movies together, or we have little apps where we can answer questions and play games with each other, and doing video updates about what we're doing, all that kind of stuff. So we're lucky that we're in such a digital virtual age where we can participate in things together to help with things like that. But also I think planning out our next time we meet up, or the next steps for anything, planning shoddy, which it means wedding,
Mhm.
is like a thing that gives me a little bit of, boost my happiness about the whole situation. But yeah, that's how we do it. It's not easy. I don't know. I would say if any of my friends wanted to do a long distance relationship, and some of them have attempted to or thought about it, I'm like, just don't do
Yeah.
it.
Aw.
I can tell you from experience.
10 out of 10 don't recommend.
Yes.
Aw. Is your family supportive? I would assume, but
Oh, yeah. I mean, even if they were not, which would never be the case, if they were not supportive, I would be like, see ya, out of here. I just won't stand for any of that.
yeah,
They're
absolutely.
very supportive. He was able to meet my family this last fall for the first time. So that was great. And they'd seen him on video multiple times. But we ended up going to Iowa, which I thought was going to be so interesting since he spent most of his time in California, but he got to see where I grew up, basically, and see all that. I grew up in a really small town in Iowa. So it was a lot of fun.
Was it like a culture shock for him?
I'm sure. I mean, everything was a culture shock to him.
True.
Yes.
I mean,
So I'm sure
when you go over there.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, how our infrastructure is like in terms of highways and roads. And we follow the rules on the road, which I can't say people do that necessarily in India very well.
Oh my God.
He will say a lot of times in his own words, like, the US is a country full of rules. And I've heard other people say that too. Other foreigners say that too, is we do have a lot of very strict rules in how we operate in our daily life that a lot of countries don't do necessarily. And so when he came here for the first time, I had to be like, don't do this. Don't walk on the left side of the sidewalk. Like things like that, like little things like that you don't think about. And we are used to because we grew up with that. Those are things that he has to adjust to.
Got it. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you don't think about it. But then when you're like walking in the grocery store and someone's walking on the incorrect side, you just want to hit them with your cart.
Yeah, actually. And he would ask so many times about jaywalking here. I don't know what the rules are where you are, because obviously it's different for every state, but
yeah,
can't do jaywalking here in California, even though some people do. And I kept telling him, like, you got to wait for the light, like, he would, why? What does it matter? I'm like, I don't want a ticket. I don't want a jaywalking ticket. And that just blew his mind, that's something that happened.
Yeah. Where I'm at, no one cares. But like you respectfully wait. We have a lot of crosswalks where you click a button and the lights start flashing. So then and you can cross. And if the cars don't stop, the car gets a ticket. Whereas like the person doesn't. But like when I was just in New York City last week, no one listened to those rules. If there wasn't a car coming, they were just crossing the street. And I was like, why are you doing that? These people are driving so fast and these cabs don't care. They're not stopping. Yeah. You're going to get hit. So yeah, I
would say that's very similar to what I experienced in both Vietnam and India in terms of like how, they don't care. And Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh or Saigon is known as like the most chaotic in terms of driving and walking around on the street because it's just so packed. It's like controlled chaos 100% of the time. And you just have to, there will never be a break in the traffic for you to cross as if you're walking. You just have to go. You just have to go and have no fear.
And just cross your fingers.
I had to have lessons on how to do this because it was so terrifying.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is it because is there like so many people and so many cars in such a small confined area that there is nowhere for them to like eventually spread out, that like it's just clustered all the time?
Yeah. So imagine you're on a 3-lane road at a stoplight and there's a median and there's another 3 lanes on the other side, right? There's 3 lanes and then there's a sidewalk. There might be in a row like 15 vehicles and they're all weaving in and out. And there are tons of people on motorcycles or scooters, scooties, and they're going in and out and it's packed the entire way, even on the sidewalk. They will drive on the sidewalk.
Oh, that is terrifying.
And they'll have lights. So some people might stop at big intersections. But in India, I feel like street lights are suggestions.
They don't have like streetlight cameras that like take your picture if you run a red light and give you a ticket.
I'm sure they do in certain more posh areas, if I can remember. But if you're in a place like Chandni Chowk, which is a really big market hub area, no one's paying attention to the lights. Nah.
That is wild. What? Yeah. Okay. So him coming here where there's like rules and regulations to that, he's probably, but why? Like, I'm just cross. He's also probably like, you're in Iowa where there's like, I don't know. I'm comparing Iowa. I've never been to Iowa, but I'm comparing it to where I live. There might be 5 cars on the road at one time. And he's probably like, what? This is nothing. I'm just going to go.
There's just vast oceans of openness in Iowa, especially in the countryside, which we got to drive through. And I think it just blew his mind that there are no people. There might be like cows or whatever in the farm, but it's just like rows of corn or beans or whatever. And no one on the road, nothing.
Yep. That's very to where I grew up. Like we would, in high school, we would just go not drink and drive, but go drive out to a cornfield to sit in trucks and drink.
Okay. I told someone that, it might have been Joe actually. I told someone that, but I've told people that we used to have parties, keggers, parties in a cornfield.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to like, my mom doesn't listen to this, so it's fine. I used to like, there was one time where I was in high school, I don't know, I was 16 or 17, and we were having a party in a cornfield and the cops came to bust it. And I remember army crawling through a cornfield to avoid the cops so they couldn't see me.
Yep. Been there,
that was a regular occurrence.
Yes. Been there, done that. One time I woke up in a silo, the crane, because I apparently partied too. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing to do in Iowa, honestly.
No. And where you grew up sounds very similar to where I grew up. I mean, I was 43 people. There was nothing to do. We used to sit in the parking lot of Dollar General until the cops were like, you can't do that anymore. And then it was like a different park. Like, you just around to different areas and there was nothing to do. Anyway, I'm sure that your fiance was like, what alternate universe did I get dropped into in Iowa in the middle of a cornfield?
I think it took him some time to process, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, so because obviously you are long distance, what do you do besides work? Because we can't work all the time. I mean, we could, but we don't want to. What do you do to fill your time? Like your free time?
You know this. I'm a crafty girl. I have so many hobbies. I was just joking with a new neighbor that I met last night at the comedy show. She was telling me that she DMs for D&D, Dungeons.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And I was like, I have been trying to find a D&D group for so long. I have all the things. I have crafted so many things and I've never been able to play.
I wish I would come play.
Yeah. And I even have a little miniature and I have everything.
Of yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. My brother, my younger brother lives in Raleigh, but he is a DM. And so he helped me build a character.
Real quick. For people who don't know what DM, can you explain what DM means?
I know. Magic.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
go ahead.
They basically develop these campaigns or one-shots, which are stories for the players to play. And they guide them through the story and, set all the rules and make sure everyone's kind of following. And they'll narrate through the process of playing D&D. Yeah.
So if you've ever watched Stranger Things, it's usually Mike or Eddie was also DM. And I guess if you watch Stranger Things, you probably know what D&D is. But if you don't know what D&D is and you've watched Stranger Things, that's what a dungeon master is, what Mike would do or Eddie would do.
Yeah. So they're like the storyteller and the conductor and the choreographer and the designer and they're, that whole part of it. And sometimes characters. Sometimes they play their own characters in the game.
So your brother,
he does that. He plays with his own group, but he was he'll sometimes call me to test out some one shots and just, what would you do in this situation to make sure it's going to work for his group? And so I had asked him like, hey, can you help me build a character? And he's, yes, let's do it right now. And he helped me go through all of it. I got really into, I can't just have a hobby, Becca.
Right.
Like I hyperfixate on things and go crazy. I mean, case in point with the Wicked sweatshirts and, coloring and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But I went crazy and I got all the dyes. I got many types of dyes and I got so much stuff. And when I met my new neighbor last night, she's, do you want to, do some one shots with me and some games? And I'm like, yes, like I apparently need an excuse to have another hobby. We're going to do that. But
how fun.
I dabble in game. I used to do video games a lot. I used to game a lot. I don't as much anymore because I don't have the time, or I use that time for other things. I color a lot. I got really into it, like the cozy coloring, which I saw you did in honor of today.
Yeah, I have it. I have it right here. I got it a month or two ago. I have this calendar. It's called a bucket list calendar. Have you seen those online?
Yes.
Yeah. And so in January, one of the items was to sit and listen to music and doodle. But I was like, I'm going to interpret this in my own way. And I bought this and listened to music. And so I'll also just sit and listen to podcasts and do and color in this. But I needed to ask you because the colors that I use, I have to put this behind it because they bleed. Do I have the wrong markers?
What kind of markers are you using?
These.
They're fine and brush. Are they alcohol based?
I don't know. Where would that say that?
Usually they say it on the front, but it might say it on the back. They're probably alcohol based. I think I saw from your picture, they look like they're probably alcohol based. If that's the case, alcohol based markers bleed through like crazy. So you have to have, I always have cardstock, or if you go crazy like I do and buy, yes, aged. Yeah. If you buy large sets of markers like they do, they come with these like plastic film pages that you can put behind the pages so they won't bleed through. But that's one of the reasons that alcohol markers are so good, because they bleed. You can blend them a lot better.
Do you prefer alcohol markers over other markers?
I do, because it's like a it's like a stim thing, like a stimulation thing. I feel like I feel more soothed by using the alcohol markers.
They're smooth.
And yes, they are very smooth, and you get to do more fun things like blending with them, or, and then you can add on top. So a lot of times when I'm coloring, I'll do the alcohol markers on the base, and then I'll go over with gel pens or acrylic markers over it to add accents and stuff. But yeah, I go a little crazy there.
Cass has been swatching all of her markers herself. How many swatches are you up to? Do you know?
I am over 350. Yeah. And I did it all in one fell swoop. So,
oh my God.
Like I said, I can't just have a hobby. I have to hyperfixate and stay up all night doing something.
Okay, but how fun is that? I actually just the other day was like, last week, I think, I was like, I miss the days where I had a show that captivated me so much that I just wanted to stay up all night watching it. And then actually I love The Lincoln Lawyer, and a new season came out last week. And then I was off this week. So I stayed up until 2 a.m. on Monday watching it. And I was like, this is what I needed. Like, I miss those days. What was that for me back in the day where I would just stay up all night? I remember my mom got me the box set of the DVDs for Christmas one year. So I would just stay up all night watching it. And I just miss that. So like to have like hobbies that make you want to stay up and not sleep is so fun.
Yeah, it's fun until it's not. I think I have to say, I think I'm a little neurospicy.
I mean, we aren't we all?
Can or can't confirm. But that is pretty much my behavior. I'll get really obsessed with something for a while and I just can't get enough of it. And then I will get bored real quick and I will drop it and I'll never do it again. Luckily, this last year, I've been trying to not do that so much, where if I invest in something like these markers, I took a huge break from it, but I'm now coming back to it again. So I can use my investment. And I do that with like crochet and knitting, and I do like miniature houses and stuff. And
Oh, I didn't know.
oh yeah, it's a big thing in our arts and crafts channel. Meredith and I both do that, but I'm obsessed with it. And I also just do every other type of DIY thing you can think of. I've probably done at some point. Yeah. But I get so fixated on it and I'll go crazy and then I'll get bored like sometimes halfway through a project. And so I have this huge list of, actually on my phone, in my notes, I have a list of projects that I started and didn't finish that I need to go back and finish.
Oh my God. I need to know what's on this list. But what would you say so far has been your favorite hobby if you had to pick one? Or is that like picking a favorite child?
That is way too difficult to answer.
Okay.
I will say the one I always go back to is crocheting and knitting.
Okay.
Like, I always go back to it because it's such a cozy thing that you can do at any time. You can travel with it. You can, and my love language is gift giving to other people. So I love making things for other people. And who's going to say no to a hand knitted scarf or hat, whatever,
Right. My middle sister, she's going to kill me for not knowing what she does that though. I don't know the difference between crochet and knit. I have no clue, but she like makes baby blankets for people. She's made me a shirt before that. Unfortunately, she thought my arms were smaller than they are, and I can't fit into it because it doesn't work on my arms, but I have it. And she's done hats for like my nephews. She's done shirts for them. What would that be? Or could it be either one?
It could be either one, but it's probably knitting. A lot of times clothing is knitted because people who crochet and knit are probably going to relate. She doesn't know what she's talking about because I was self-taught on everything, but the knitting is with 2 needles and crochet is with 1 hook.
I should think she just has 1.
She just has 1?
Damn it. I got to text her.
A lot of times knitting, the process of knitting makes the end product more structurally strong and durable. So that's why a lot of like clothing that people make for other people or you'll see in the store is usually knitted because it stays together longer. And they say, I don't know if this is still true, but they say that it's impossible to manufacture crocheting. It can only be done by hand. So a lot of the woven garments in stores are knitted because a machine can replicate it. It's usually like more durable for clothing.
Got it. She said she crochets. She does a lot of blankets. She doesn't do too many pieces of clothing. It's more like she loves to make some like a baby blanket for a newborn, or she's been working on my blanket for my birthday for 2 years.
Yeah.
People just keep having babies, so she keeps babies day, I guess, over me, even though the world should revolve around me and my needs. But she's always got her bag with her and she's always working on something.
Her WIP, her whip, is what she probably calls it.
She's always got a work in progress. Yeah. So, okay, cool. That's fun. When you played video games, did you do like PlayStation or the Switch?
I did all of it. I currently play Hogwarts Legacy.
I'm on my second replay.
Are you?
Okay. Yes.
I have not finished. Okay, this is another thing that is indicative of being potentially neurospicy as I never finished the game.
But okay, in your defense, I'm assuming, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Are you one of those people though, like you play to just get through the story and get it done? Or do you have to, like on Hogwarts Legacy, for example, there are like 5 different things that you have explore the land and do the quest and do the side quest, do you have to hit 100% for all of it?
A completionist, you mean?
Yeah.
I would say when I played Skyrim and Oblivion, I was a completionist. But with Hogwarts Legacy, I haven't done shit in that campaign. I have just walked around and tried out the different outfits and enjoy the aesthetic the entire time.
That's fair.
I haven't done shit. I don't. If a side quest is there and I can complete it while I'm in a place exploring it, I will maybe do it. But I'm really there just for the vibes. That's where I'm at now.
You know what? That's okay. Sometimes we just got to be there for the vibes.
Yeah, I will say though, I used to play Overwatch. I don't know if you know what that game is.
No.
Okay. It's an FPS, a first person shooter, team-based game. It was very big in esports and everything. And there's competitive, obviously, component to it. And I used to play it on PlayStation and Xbox and PC, and I was like pretty decently ranked for a while in the game. And I would spend an unhealthy amount of time playing that game. So some people have it's my vice. Some people have alcohol or whatever, other things. Mine was video games for a long time. I have learned I can't do that again.
Yeah.
So now I just download quote unquote cozy games like Hogwarts Legacy. There's a game I'm playing called, my brother gifted me actually, called Wonderland or Wonderstop. Sorry. It's where the objective of the game is just to make and serve tea.
Oh, cute.
Enjoying the environment and calming down. So I do things like that. Or I actually, have you heard of A Little to the Left?
I don't think, on the Switch or on what count?
I would assume, I don't know if you can get it off of Steam. I don't know if you can get it on Switch. I would assume you could. It's a game where you just organize things. Like they give you like a table of a bunch of knickknacks and you have to organize. Yeah.
For anyone who isn't watching, like one of the pictures is what we would in the Midwest call a quote unquote junk drawer, and organizing your junk drawer, which I love to do in person. So I need to play this game immediately.
It's great because if there's also not like a campaign basically, so you can literally just start and stop it whenever. And then there's also unpacking, which if you like the idea of A Little to the Left, you probably really like unpacking. Okay. It's you're literally unpacking boxes into a room and putting stuff away, but there's a story behind it. It's really great.
Okay. I'm going to have to look that up. Meredith had me have you ever heard of Dredge on the Switch?
It sounds so familiar.
It's like a spooky, like, little fishing game.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
Like you're on a boat and it's like you can't be out on the ocean past like a certain time because you're going to it's spooky. And like that, Meredith turned me on to that one. That one is really a lot of fun.
That sounds awesome. Actually.
Yeah.
I'll look that one up.
If you need, that one's very cozy vibes for sure. But my mom likes to laugh at me because I'm almost 35, and for Christmas this year, the number one thing on my request list was a PlayStation 5. She was like, "Are you a 12-year-old boy?" No, my PlayStation 4, it finally shit the bed. It stopped working. I know, I've had it for a few years. It's not like it's 10 years old. It's pretty old, but it's not that old. And I got the like blue light of death or whatever. It just wouldn't.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah,
that's
kept it because I like was reading, and if you are like handy, I read that you can replace the hard drive and make it work again. But I'm not handy, so I got a PlayStation 5 for Christmas because I was like, I need to play Hogwarts Legacy again. I'm like switching because I like need that. And Red Dead Redemption is like one of my favorite games. So I was like, and Tomb Raider, obviously. And we're getting a new Lara Croft. Like, I need it.
Yes.
So anyway, so we love a good
try. Yeah, you should try. I just got a because I got rid of my consoles when I've moved 18 times in my life. Moved, and including cross state, over the state.
That's like every other year since you were born.
Yes. When my dog was here, she moved on average once a year with me. For all. Yes. But
how old was she?
She was 16.
16,
Yeah.
16 times.
Yes.
She moved.
Yeah. Yes.
Why do you do that?
I have a problem with not. I have a problem. Let's just leave it at that. I don't know. I can't sit still. I think this is actually this place that I'm in now is the first time I've renewed my lease, I think, ever.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. I can't think of a time when I did renew it. I've always moved. It's just like life happens, you know?
You also live in an area like here, there is not that many places to do that. Like here you find an apartment or a townhome and you just stay there until like you buy a house essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But where you live, I'm assuming, I could be wrong, that there's more places to move to.
Yes. Yeah. It's not cheap though to move.
No,
it's so expensive. There are a lot more options obviously here to do that.
Yeah. So you just renewed your lease. That's crazy.
I renewed it, so I at least will be here until August, and then who knows?
Then we'll see.
I don't know. I like where I'm at. I like where I'm living. It was new for me to admit that I didn't want to leave. Because I get that itch, 9 months into it. I'm like, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? I can't stay here. It's just something about me being uncomfortable with stability or something. I don't know.
Commitment isn't ideal. But yeah, you have a fiance who lives 8,000 miles away.
It doesn't make sense. I get it.
Could you maybe instead try to just rearrange a room? Would that help instead?
Oh,
okay.
No.
Or are you one kid who was rearranging her room every month?
I would not. I very much when I decide something is where it needs to live, it stays there and it has its place forever. The thing is, I put so much thought into how I decorate things and organize things that I make sure that it's going to be there forever. Unless I get a big piece of furniture or something and have to change. But it all stays in the same spot.
So that's why you need change. That's why you need to move so you can find new spots for the thing.
Could be. Maybe you've unlocked something here.
And this is therapy with Becca.
Exactly. Thank you. You can invoice me later.
Yeah, no problem. Next time we see each other in person, because I'm manifesting that Nashville wasn't the last time. You can just buy me a Diet Coke.
Yeah. Yes.
For your time.
All right.
Oh, man. Okay. I feel like we covered a lot. I've also kept you for almost 2 hours, and I'm so sorry on your Saturday, one of your 2 days off. But is there anything else you wanted to make sure that we talked about? I want to make sure that we cover everything.
I think that's it. I mean, I knew coming onto this, I had a friend ask me oh, what are you guys going to talk about? I'm like, honestly, I don't know, but I can shoot the shit with Becca. I feel like forever. So, I mean, I don't have any problem.
We could keep talking for the next another 2 hours.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I think we covered a lot. Now you know probably too much about my vices and hyperfixation.
Not enough, honestly. I need you to send me pictures, though, of some of your hobbies so I can post them along with the episode so people can see all your fun stuff. I grabbed so when I posted that story about coloring in honor of you, both my sisters, because conveniently I picked pajamas and it's Valentine's Day, so I was in the red mood. And now they look more Valentine's-y with the pink, but at first they looked just red. So both my sisters were like Santa Claus. And I was like, no. I was like, my coworker and / friend who loves to color, and I grabbed one of your pictures out of the creative chat group, and I was like, she just loves coloring. And they were like, oh, she does really love it. Because I sent them a picture of your swatches.
Yes.
But I mean, that's to me, that's so fun and soothing, like the organization too, and the thought that you put into it. Do you just look at the swatches and you're like you inspired me? Oh, it's in here. Because this came with a little swatch thing and I hadn't been filling it out. But when you started showing yours, I was like, oh, I guess I should, because it's on the back, it has printed, but they
Yeah.
look different. So I was like,
Yes.
oh, I need to do that. Cass is, but like on a much smaller scale.
That's where it started though, because those cards like come with the sets, those swatch cards. And I filled all of them out, which is great. But you need to do that because they dry so differently.
Yes.
And they don't match the color on the outside of the marker at all.
Not even a
And
little.
like way off.
Yep.
Like it'll say yellowish green and it's blue or something. It's ridiculous.
I've put on one of these is like tan and I color it's like bright yellow. I'm like, that is
Yes.
not tan.
Yeah. It's so deceptive. So you have to swatch it. And then I had all the swatch cards, but then I was getting so irritated because I needed to be able to make palette. Like I said, I can't just have a freaking hobby. I have to make a process of it. And so I was like, I want to be able to pull out the colors and make a color palette before I start. And then, well, then I'm going to have them all on individual swatch cards. So then that's where that project evolved.
Got it.
But yeah, I think when I got that swatch book finished, I don't want to know how long it took me to do that. Because I had to make it in InDesign. I had to type in all of the marker codes and names and the legacy codes. And then I had to print it out. I had to cut my own paper. Then I had to swatch them, then cut the individual swatches out. And then I had to organize them. And then I had to make the little sleeves for the book. And that was a whole process. I had to melt down the plastic and put it in a binder. And then I had to organize all the colors by hue, basically. And it took so long. But after I got it done, I just sat there for about 30 minutes and flipped through the swatch book because it was, I was like, yes.
Yes.
Accomplished. And it looks great.
I'm dying at your choice of using the word I had to.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm aware. We've established I have issues here.
Well, that's so something I would also say, though. Like, I had to sit down and play Hogwarts Legacy for an hour.
Yes.
No, I didn't, but I had to. My brain wouldn't do anything else if I didn't do that.
There would be consequences if you didn't do it.
Correct.
Like, you had to do it. Yeah.
Right. My puff skein needs fed. So, like, I have to get on and feed it. And my moon calf needs pet. So I have to get on and do that.
Exactly.
And then you have my dog in real life who's, hello? What are you doing? I just she gets a lot of attention. I've had Valentine's Day presents for them for a month. They are all three very spoiled, rotten.
Yeah.
So
they deserve it. They deserve it.
I am shocked because my dog has been a nuisance when I've been doing these, and she usually barks like the whole time, but I'm usually in my office. And so I think being in here in the living room with her makes her feel more comfortable. And she's just been sleeping on the floor next to me. The amount of people who have driven down the road that she's not barked at. So I think I found my new spot if this sounds fine when I go to edit it, because
perfect.
She's been quiet the whole time.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, and also if you're comfortable and cozy too, then it just brings on the cozy vibes.
Right. And it gives more of the, I've called you on the phone to talk to you.
Yes, exactly. Love it.
Oh, man. Thank you so much. Okay. Where can people find you? Where do you want them to follow you?
Yeah. So my Instagram is Cassie Kessihe, which it means in Hindi, how is Cassie?
Oh, cute.
It's a play on words. So you can follow me on Instagram. I do have a YouTube and I do have a website mostly for like PR stuff, but I don't use YouTube that much. I should, but Instagram is where it's at.
Okay. Well, if you want me to post the links to the YouTube and website, just send them to me and I'll post those. But otherwise, I will also post the link to the Instagram in the show notes. So that people can find you there. But thank you for doing this, especially on one of your days off. I mean,
Yes.
I know our jobs, so I know that these 2 days off in between are precious. So I very much appreciate you taking time to sit down and talk to me.
I loved every second of it. It was awesome. Thank you
thank
so
you.
much for having me. Please have me again sometime down the road, or if you want to just
Come back on whenever you want.
learn more about visas or
crash course. Whatever you want. You just text me and you say, hey, I want to come back on and chat. Okay, great. Twist my arm.
yeah, I need another Becca therapy session. So
We'll unlock things behind the hobbies and the moving. Cool. Thank you everyone for listening, and I will catch you all on the next one.